What if Earth suddenly stopped spinning right now? Not slowly, not over time, but instantly. Would anything survive? Or would everything on this planet be destroyed in seconds? But the disaster would not stop there. The oceans would keep moving due to their momentum. This would create gigantic waves, powerful enough to travel across entire continents. Massive tsunamis would crash into coastlines with unstoppable force. Cities near the oceans would disappear almost instantly. Water would flood deep into land, covering everything in its path. Entire regions of Earth would be reshaped by moving water alone. The moment Earth stops spinning, the surface of the planet would not stop with it. Everything that is not firmly attached to the ground would continue moving at extremely high speed. Cities, cars, trees, oceans, even people, would be thrown forward violently toward the east. It would feel like the entire planet has suddenly turned into a massive crash zone. Buildings would collapse, and everything loose on the surface would be swept away in seconds. Nothing would remain calm or stable. But the disaster would not stop there. The oceans would keep moving due to their momentum. This would create gigantic waves, powerful enough to travel across entire continents. Massive tsunamis would crash into coastlines with unstoppable force. Cities near the oceans would disappear almost instantly. Water would flood deep into land, covering everything in its path. Entire regions of Earth would be reshaped by moving. The disaster would not stop with the oceans. The atmosphere would also keep moving at extreme speeds. This would create planet-wide winds far stronger than any hurricane ever recorded in human history. Air would rush across the surface of Earth with unstoppable force. Trees would be uprooted instantly, buildings would collapse, and dust storms would cover entire continents. It would not be a storm in one area. It would be a storm across the entire planet. Nothing on the surface would remain untouched. As time passes, Earth itself would begin to react to this sudden change. Without rotation, the planet would slowly start to lose its balanced shape. The oceans would shift toward the poles, changing the layout of the entire surface. This imbalance would trigger massive earthquakes across the planet. Volcanoes would erupt in multiple regions at the same time. Continents would slowly adjust, as Earth tries to find a new equilibrium. The planet we know today would begin to transform completely. If Earth remained stopped, a new and deadly pattern would emerge. One side of the planet would always face the sun. This side would become extremely hot, hot enough to burn the surface and dry up all water. The other side would remain in complete darkness, freezing into an icy wasteland. Between these two extremes, there would be only a narrow region where conditions might still support life. But even that region would be harsh and unstable. Earth would no longer be a balanced world. It would become two extreme planets in one. At this point, most life on Earth would struggle to survive. Ecosystems would collapse as temperatures become too extreme. Plants, animals, and humans would face conditions far beyond adaptation. Earth would lose its harmony and become a hostile environment. A simple motion we never notice would turn out to be one of the most important forces keeping life alive. Earth's rotation is invisible to us, but it shapes everything we know. It gives us day and night, controls weather systems, and keeps the planet stable. And right now, as you are watching this, you are standing on a planet spinning through space at incredible speed. A motion so powerful, yet so perfectly balanced, that life itself depends on it.